You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We have a special guest from the Showtime TV show,
Gigolo.
Nick Hawk.
What's up?
Now,
Thanks for having me on,
Explain
guys.
to the people what a gigolo is, bro.
A male companion, an escort,
Prostitute?
not a prostitute. That's not a service we offer.
Or you don't
no.
offer sex?
No, just my time.
So like conversation or just people who just don't want to be alone?
But there is sex.
You gotta satisfy women. I'm a very sexual man,
Yeah.
but that's not something I sell. It's illegal. Even if it was legal, I probably wouldn't do it at this point in my life.
It
I
is
like the
illegal?
companionship more.
Mm-hmm.
In Nevada
Vegas,
too. There's
'cause
brothels and stuff like that, but yeah, it's still illegal there for some reason. They should legalize it. But if they did, I still probably wouldn't offer that service. I pretty much do longer bookings. I just see a few clients a month, and it's typically an overnight, a weekend, or like a week booking. I just went to Yellowstone for a week, and last month I went to Mexico, did some diving with whale sharks
what do you
and
do with
manta
them?
rays.
Yeah, how do you turn them down if they do want the dick?
It's not
that?
guaranteed, man. It's not
yeah.
guaranteed. I don't like to sleep with that many women anymore. There's a point in my life where I did that, and I
You
spread
said you
myself
wanted to
fairly
beat Wilt
thin.
Chamberlain.
I did at one point. I wanted to beat him at one point. I thought that's what
How close are you?
life was all about. No, I didn't get close.
What was it,
My
20,000?
game was on point at one point where I could have possibly. I think he hit like 7,000 or something like that. I
Yeah.
think someone said that, but no, nowhere near that. Yeah.
Why don't men get the same double standard as women? Because you say you're a gigolo, but if it was a woman, she'd be a hoe.
Women, it's a little different. Women don't really offer the companionship and longer bookings. If a girl is escorting, usually they are selling sexual favors, and they'll see like 5 people in a night. So it's a little different.
If you watch the show Gigolo, right, I was, because I've seen quite a few episodes, and you could see, like I said, the reason why women are booking these men is like they really do want to have like the conversation, something happened in their life, and they're like, well, I've never done this before.
Get a
but
therapist.
There's a lot more. Yeah, big time. That's
There was one woman-
that's why I wrote my book too.
100
I think
kicks in the
I
ass.
got a lot of good information. A lot of these clients come to me for some information. They majority of them. Maybe about half of them struggle with, some type of confidence or social anxiety issues. They've worked. They're very successful women, so maybe they've worked most of their life, went to college, created a successful business, haven't had too much time to date. They recently got divorced, and they're like, I want to date, I want to have some fun, but what do I do? And I'm a good stepping stone for that. I make you comfortable and increase your confidence. So
there was one woman who never had sex with a man before. She had only had sex with women.
I've had a few of them.
Yeah, and so, they just wanted to experience what it would be like to have sex with a man.
It's a great stepping stone. I'm hoping for more. I'm hoping I see them again. I like to build relationships and establish, a regular clientele base opposed to seeing a bunch of people. When I first started out, when the show first kicked off and everything, I would see a couple people a week or maybe more than that, and it really wore me out. I didn't like that. I wasn't being fulfilled. I felt like I was meat more than anything. And I
Objectified?
I'd objectified so much. I guess maybe a little bit back there, but yeah, there's no fulfillment, sleeping with a ton of women. I thought that's what life was all about. I thought I was the man when I first started out, and I'm getting paid to be with all these women, and no, there's a lot more to life than that. I like building relationships in my personal life and in
Now,
with
did you
my clients.
have to like catch a STD or something to learn that, or did you just learn that like?
Did I have to catch an STD to learn something?
Like, did you catch like something and like?
I've luckily never caught anything. I've never not used a condom
Gotcha.
with a client, so
That's no fun.
I think it's fun. I
safe.
think it's fun.
So you don't
It's
have
safe,
a
but
girlfriend, a wife, a fiance, none of that.
I haven't had a girlfriend in like 8 years. There's been lots of girls. I have little flings and little getaways. I'll hang out with a girl for a weekend here and there. And I'm open to having someone continually in my personal life on a regular basis
But
or
I will
something.
never understand that, the fact that you got to go out and pretty much date all these other women.
It's going to be a challenge,
like a
but
license to
I'm
cheat.
straight up with everything though. I'm honest about everything I do. I plan on doing the Gigolo thing forever. It's forever. As long as I have clients in my life that I'm healthy for and
much you
that
get
they're
paid?
healthy for me.
Roundabout.
$3,000 for an overnight, $8,000 for a weekend.
Sheesh.
That's better than being a bartender. Now,
Yeah,
100
a
kicks
little
in
bit.
the ass. Why the book? And what is it about basically?
It's 100 kicks in the ass, a guide to gaining confidence and reaching your full potential. And I've been on this quest since I was 25. I was really lost and broken down. person. I struggled with anxiety and confidence. As I say in the book, I was scared to speak up in front of my family at the dinner table, and I'd have panic attacks there and panic attacks in school. So I struggled with this a lot of my life. When I was 25, I kind of had an awakening type event happen, and I decided I was going to be the best possible person I could be. Then becoming a gigolo and having clients come to me and asking me for advice, then be in the spotlight a little bit, having followers, younger guys look up to me. I want to give the best advice as possible. So it's been about 5 to 6 year process, but the last couple years I've spent a lot of hours doing research and finding the best advice I can to give people to help them be more confident and operate at their full potential. So I see so many people falling short and just not living up to their potential, man. So many people, make it so much harder on themselves than it has to be.
So this is nothing. I was thinking it was probably in the same vein as Neil Strauss' The Game, but it's not.
No, it's not. It's not a pickup book like that. I'm a huge fan of Neil. I'm actually doing Neil's show in a little bit. I'm excited for that one.
And I like Neil.
Yeah.
You
He's
insured
a
your
good
penis
dude.
for $1 million?
I did.
Whoa.
Is somebody gonna break it, take it, steal it?
Well, it's an idea. An idea I had. A lot of the clients and a lot of people I have on the show, they're a little inexperienced, and I find that inexperienced people are a little rough. And they go a little hard, especially if they're on top or if they're in control, and it's a little scary at times. It can break. It can break, and it can be damaged. You can permanently damage it. So it was a little bit of that. It was a little bit of a PR stunt too. I knew it'd get a lot of feedback.
But did you get the insurance? You have it?
Yeah.
Who appraises the penis? Like, who looks at your penis and says this is worth $1 million?
Why, do you want that job?
It was an insurance company. My show actually found, I can't think of the insurance name. It wasn't the big one that it wasn't them. They've insured a lot of celebrities, like their tits and middle fingers and stuff like that. But they wouldn't do the penis, so I had to go to a different company.
So what do you got to do to collect the money? God forbid. Like, what would have to happen to your penis?
I don't want to think about that, man. But
somebody come down too hard. Somebody go up.
It covers
and
everything.
Down,
it covers everything, including theft. So. It does. It says that in there.
That would suck. Pause.
Hey, yo,
Now, you know what I wanted to ask you watching the show, right? How, for the women that appear on the show, because I was like, wow, I can't imagine hiring an escort and then being on TV, with him. So, do they still have to pay even though they're on the show?
No, they don't pay for coming on the show. Yeah, and that's
the
women on the show. They're real clients and women who inquired to book me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of the time they don't have the funds to book me for the overnight, which I usually require on the weekends or fly to Vegas, and it costs a lot. So a lot of these clients usually don't have the means to do so, but it's an opportunity for them to go on a date with me. That's why we are able to get them. The first couple seasons is pretty challenging to gather up people to come on the show, but the last few, it's been, big fans of the show and stuff. So.
You know what's crazy?
What?
Charlamagne?
What?
He shares my birthday with me, Wax, and Paige.
Oh, yeah?
His birthday.
Yeah,
Virgos.
yeah.
Virgos are known horse. All right? Okay. Until they get scared straight.
Is that it? It's not my fault.
Until
it's
they
not
get
my
scared.
fault.
Yeah, it's not your fault. It's out of your control.
Now, I have a question now with, you ever had to get into an altercation? Because I could imagine somebody's, wife invites you over or wants to share you, and then their husband finds out. I know you fight and you do UFC fighting and boxing, so it's not much of a challenge. But you ever get into that altercation?
Man, no, it's scary. That scares me. I'd hate a husband coming home with a gun or something. You can't do too much in that situation. But I'm writing a new book called "So You Really Want to Be a Gigolo," and in that I share a story about a client who booked me, and she asked me in the beginning if it was cool if the husband walked in on us. Because she wanted to make him jealous.
Oh, no, jealous.
Yeah, she wanted to make him jealous. I said, hell no. I said, no, that ain't happening. Cut to a few hours later. We were laying in the bed. I heard a door open. I looked at her. I knew exactly what was going on. She had this goofy little grin on her face. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I had the sheet on me. I didn't have any clothes on. I decided to just remove the sheet. I figured most people don't want to fight a naked dude. I was hoping that's what would happen.
Yeah.
So he walked in the room, I said, your wife needs help or something like that.
Your wife needs help.
And he said something like, I know, I hope you can help her. He turned around and left.
Wow.
I was hoping I'd get a kick to the nuts or maybe beat up, then I could leave.
Right.
But I ended up being stuck there with her, and I had to deal with the aftermath of him not caring that much and just leaving. So that was worse than getting
You
beat
weren't
up.
scared that he would go get a gun and come back? Like,
Not with his demeanor, and he's just like, I'm done with her. I'm out of here.
Now, if he kicked you in the
I
balls-
left shortly after. I talked to her for a little while and calmed her down a little bit, but I'm like, nah, I'm not dealing with
If he
this.
kicked you, would you have gotten $1 million for insurance?
If he'd have broke it.
If I could, I guess, prove if it broke, and I don't even know if I don't even want to think about that stuff. I didn't think too much about it. I don't want to get into that and the details and proving that it don't work or something like that. But let's just hope that doesn't happen.
My anxiety would have given me a panic attack in that situation. I'd have been out. As soon as he walked out, I'd have got dressed and been right behind him.
You got to read my book. Control that.
Now, let's talk about some of the kicks. Number 32 in your book is titled "Don't Be Weird or Awkward as a Male Escort." I wanted a job in a porn store one time.
Oh my God!
And the lady told me that I was too outgoing to be in the porn store.
Too outgoing to be in a porn store? Why is that?
Because she said when you're in a porn store, you have to be discreet. You just let people shop. You don't.
You might
stuff.
You might scare them away a little bit. Well, I guess she could just ask you to be discreet.
Yeah.
I think if you're not discreet, you can control being that, right?
Yeah.
The women
we don't
really
give ourselves
nervous.
enough credit in situations, and that's something being with confidence too. Yeah, one of my kicks is don't be weird and awkward. I think it's a choice, it's a decision. I think we build ourselves up to be whoever we want to be, and I think when we say, oh, I'm clumsy or I'm awkward or I'm weird, like being weird is good. It's good to be different and be creative and be original and everything. But yeah, you shouldn't be awkward and you shouldn't be clumsy. You have control of that. You need to develop your awareness and you need to develop your confidence.
You also said in the book that you believe that talent is not something that you're born with.
You're not born. There's no such thing as nobody's special. You're not born with gifts or talent. You're not. Nobody is. Nobody is.
Nick.
Nobody is. No, there's athletic ability a little bit, but no talents. No. Nobody's born a good artist. Singing is something you can develop as well.
Dancing.
He's saying you could
anybody can dance.
anything
Anybody
that you
can
wanna
dance.
be.
Anybody can do anything. You set your mind to it. Some of us are conditioned to acquire these skills a little better than other people, but anybody can do anything. I firmly believe that. You studied math your whole life. You could take to painting and be an artist. If anybody draws a picture of a horse, it's going to suck. If anybody draws 10 pictures of a horse, it's going to start looking like a horse. 100 horses, it's going to be good. You draw 10,000 horses, it's going to be a pretty damn good looking horse.
I agree that you can develop anything, but some people are just naturally gifted at
I don't believe
things.
that. I don't believe.
Absolutely.
There's no
some
such thing as
prodigies, though.
gifted.
Like there's people that can hear music and play it.
Yes.
There's like
I feel
autistic people and they're missing. They're autistic people develop some of these abilities where they can just listen to something and play it. And usually it's people that have some type of abnormality or damage who are able to do these really great and amazing things. But we're all born with the same brain. I promise. Everybody out there, you're capable of doing anything. I promise you. I proved it.
I
agree
with
with that too, but I think that some people are born with it.
Yeah, I do. Some people are just naturally gifted at certain things.
Not at all. Not at all. Athletic ability plays a little bit into that when you're talking about height and weight and things of that nature, but our brain's ability, everybody is capable of doing anything, being an artist, being a mathematician, doing anything you want to do, even singing. Everybody can develop your singing. Singing is about recognizing tones and maintaining control. Anybody can sing. Anybody can do anything.
Why is Usain Bolt faster than everybody else?
What's that?
Why is Usain
That's
Bolt?
athletic ability. I said athletic ability is a little different.
Why did Whitney
because his
Houston
body
have
structure
a better
a little.
voice than?
I believe voice is something that anybody can. It's you practice singing for 8 hours a day. You're gonna get better every day. You're gonna get better every day. Her, Celine Dion, these great singers, they've done this many hours every day of their life forever. It's recognizing tones and pitches and control. It's something that anybody can do.
Disagree on this one.
Many people do. People do disagree with me on that.
Has a transgender person ever called?
Yeah. I get those requests. Garen kind of feels out a little. I would see a transgendered person. I don't think anything would transpire. I don't think that there would be a connection that I have with most women. I would see any woman or transgendered woman, I would see one time. I'll see anybody once. Men, I don't see at all. But I don't think anything would ever. I have transgendered friends. I've met a lot of them. I had a stripping agency. I booked the Abbey in West Hollywood for a while. I booked a gay club. I know a lot of transgendered people. I've never had that connection that I have with women. So,
You talk about bullying bullies in Kick 61.
Yeah. Yes, sir. We need to let people know when they're being an ass, man.
You guys are good with each other, you two over here.
We're too babying. We're too scared to speak up and tell somebody when they're in the wrong. And when people, operate at low potentials and make the world more difficult for others, we pat them on the back, tell them everything's okay. We shouldn't do that. We need to tell people to get their stuff together, and it affects everybody else. It really does. And a lot of these bullies, it's something we develop when we're younger, when we don't have that much guidance. When we if we don't have that much guidance, we see that we can get a quick laugh by making fun of somebody, calling somebody a name, or if someone falls down, laughing at them and pointing it out, and we see that we're getting these laughs and people are smiling. We like that attention and we crave that. If we're not guided in the right direction, told that's wrong, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't humiliate people, you shouldn't make fun of them, we're never going to know that, and that could carry on through life. You could do that for your whole life. And when you get older too, and a lot of these people, usually it's people like that who develop this ego, and then they hit the gym, they have muscles, and they turn into intimidating people, and it's hard. People are scared to stand up to them. I'm saying don't be scared to stand up to these people. You don't got to fight them, but let them know they're in the wrong, so they stop doing this to others. And
even when it's not physically, some of those people they get power and they get status.
Well, that builds, and every time they get this laugh from humiliating someone, that builds up their ego and builds them up, and it continues. And
I love to tear
bullies,
like
man.
That down.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. And we need to.
You also talk about how important it is to be honest and stop lying, which is something that a lot of people do.
It's a big one.
People lie every day, every 10 minutes. 60%, you said 60%
a
of people
lot of
lie
them don't
every
do it consciously. I think it's more than that. That's a study that I read and I put in my book. But I think a lot more people do that, and they're not aware of what's going on just because they haven't done enough self-development to figure out who they are. We should always transpire to be the most genuine person that we can be, and that's being the most honest and the most confident person who we are. And it takes a lot of work, and being who we are is if you're not acting like the person who you're most confident as, you're lying to yourself and you're selling yourself short.
It's interesting because you do talk about how you weren't confident as a child.
Not at all.
And that was something that you really
few people
had
have been
to
more
build
lost than I. Yeah. It's a skill as well. Everything in life is skill. Nobody's special. Nobody's born confident. Nobody's born with the ability to focus. I could talk about that for hours. ADHD, it's bull. I don't believe in it. No, it's an ability. It's something you develop. Everybody's born with that. Focus is the backbone of intelligence and everything that matters. You have to learn how to focus before you can grow as a person and do any type of self-development and be confident and grow.
You're a veteran too, right? Military veteran?
I am. I was in the Air Force for 4 years. I did that for the GI Bill. It paid for most of my schooling.
All right. So what do you think of like the NFL protests? You think that it's disrespectful to the military?
I think there's better outlets. As it being it's not meant to be disrespectful for the military. That's not why they're doing it. I think there's better outlets, and I think you can take a more intelligent approach. If you think all these guys have a voice, these big NFL players, and if they put out a big press release or did some PR or wrote a book about what's wrong with the government and how to fix it, I think that's a more intelligent approach to it. And if people are being offended, you maybe think of a better way to do it. I do support the freedom. I'm anti-government in many ways, and I'm well aware about all the greed and corruption out there and all the crap. But we're trying to, and we need to be more supportive. We need to build each other up more than break us down, and that's pulling us apart and breaking us down.
Why is the ex-Air Force member like anti-government? Like what drove you to that?
I don't like the idea because I was one of these lost people, and I was kind of targeted by the military and all their PR and production and supporting your country and the American flag and and it's all a big campaign to get you to fight these wars for them. And when you find out why most of these wars are really being fought and what's really going on, it's upsetting. I think they take advantage of a lot of people who serve in the military.
All right.
I'm not totally anti-military. We definitely have to have one, but I think there could be a better approach to that as well.
And I hate the treatment of the veterans after the fact. Like I hate when you're driving down the street and a veteran comes up to you and asks you for money. Like I feel like if you ever fought for this country, you should get free room and board.
Absolutely.
Shouldn't have to pay
taxes. They're doing better with that. They're doing better with that and insurance too. I served for 4 years and I don't even have insurance from that, which is messed up. I'm not that worried about that. But the people who made a career out of it, yeah, they should definitely be taken care of more than anything. They need to be they need to be taught how to survive when they get out of the military. Absolutely. As well. And that's the education is a bigger key than that. A lot of these guys they do have some opportunities, and there's a lot of good people in the military too, and a lot of you get a good head on your shoulders, and there's people in there that'll give you some good advice, especially a lot of these officers and people up who had some school and have been through some more stuff and seen more of the world and are more cultured. There's a lot of good advice, and there's a lot of people out there, but you got to look for it a little bit too. These guys do have some opportunities when they get out, and they can learn a lot when they're in. So if they're not taking advantage of the information. There definitely can be a lot more. We can do a lot more for them. I agree on that. But you need to take the advantage of the information and what's there as well.
Now, a lot of people will say that chivalry is dead right now. Now, your job is really to cater to women and make sure that you listen to them. What would you tell men nowadays?
Not at all. And unfortunately, it's perceived as, some of this stuff is being cheesy. And it's not. It's anything where you're being nice and going out of your way for someone. It's not cheesy. It shouldn't be dead. And, you should take care of your girl. You should open the door and, mind yourself as well. But, the best way to compliment somebody is giving them your energy and your respect and your time and putting your phone away and actually listening to what they have to say. That's the best compliment you can give somebody.
Well, speaking of cheesy, did you ever like Nick Cannon and R. Kelly's Gigolo record?
Gigolo.
He has a Gigolo song.
Yeah, I danced to that once or twice. It's an all right song. I think my Gigolo track's better, though.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Well, this weekend he's going to be at Exotica Expo in Edison, New Jersey.
It's
So
your
if you want to
first
check
time
him
doing
out,
Exotica, right?
Exotica
Yeah,
Expo.com.
excited about it, too. Really excited about it. Looks like a lot of fun. I'll be there Friday through Sunday.
And he's also going to be performing his new single, Wrecking Ball.
Yes, sir.
Wrecking Ball.
I did cover the Wrecking Ball.
At Transmission in in Jersey City. What is Transmission? I never heard of that.
And
I haven't been there before.
Envy's all in these Jersey clubs.
I don't know.
It looked like a dope club.
Okay, all right. Well, he's going to be at Transmission over the weekend and Exotica Expo, so you can see him, and we appreciate you for joining us.
And he's also going to be on
Thank
Lip
you so
Service
much.
next week, so make sure you check that out. He
Yeah, we had a good one last night, too. We got some deep stuff.
Yeah, very deep. And he does address the fact that a lot of women have stinky poom.
Okay.
Just so you know.
All right, so
just putting it out there.
More than should.
More than it should.
Not my clients. Not my clients. I got into that when I was a stripper, and you put the dollar bills in the pants and everything, and I would go down there to pull out the dollar, and I don't know how we got there, but
Chicks be catfishing.
Goodness
They
gracious.
pussy stink, they be catfishing.
All right.
Cardi B.
All right. Well, that's Nick Hawk. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.